The Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Smith. Welcome to the Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach. Each week we'll go through the Dead Doctors Don't Lie show and handpick information regarding people's specific health concerns. So listen now as Dr. Wallach gives his expert advice on how to deal with the root cause of illness and disease nutritionally. If you would like further information on the products recommended in the show, they can be found in the description below the video. Enjoy the show.
The Youngevity UK and Europe Show.
Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, I thought we'd talk a little bit about breastfeeding today, as I've got a story that came from ABC News that is headlined, "Infant Formula Could Change Gut Bacteria and Contribute to Childhood Obesity," according to a study. And they say what an infant eats might have effects on weight later on in life. The new study shows that babies who were breastfed had different bacteria environments or microbiomes in their guts and lower obesity levels as they grew than the babies who got primarily fed a formula. Obesity begins early, research has shown, and breast milk is known to lower a baby's risk of obesity as an adult. Breast milk is a very specialized food, contains these oligosaccharides, which are complex sugars that feed a specific gut bacteria, according to Dr. Megan Azad, the lead researcher and assistant professor in the Department of Pediatrics and Childhood Health and Community Health Sciences at the University of Manitoba, and says that the good bacteria in babies' digestive systems affects how they burn and store fat as well as how they use energy, published in the journal Pediatrics. They looked at data from the Canadian Healthy Infant Longitudinal Development and focusing on the first year of life on more than 1,000 babies from 4 different sites. And the mothers reported on breastfeeding and when formula and complementary foods were introduced to the infant. Factors such as sex, the infant's sex, education level, and pet ownership, diet, pre-pregnancy body mass were reported, and baby stool samples were collected, taken in at 3 to 4 months, and then at 12 months and tested for a variety of gut bacteria. Most mothers in the study group were white and delivered vaginally, which is known to help set up a baby's digestive system. About 40% were overweight or obese at the start of the study. And then they go on to say that surprisingly 96% of the mothers were breastfeeding after birth. However, at 3 months, only 54% of the infants were solely breastfed. Another 30% of the babies were partially breastfed, and 16% were fed formula alone. Of the formula-fed babies, 33% were overweight or at risk of being overweight, while 19% of the exclusively breastfed babies were overweight or at risk. And that does vindicate you because you've often advocated breastfeeding over formula.
Well, thank you for that information, Doug. We'll certainly add that to the body of information. It just gives it more reason why breastfeeding entirely or at least significantly in the baby's first year of life is important. Also, we learned that women who feed their babies formula have a higher, these babies have a higher risk of sudden infant death syndrome, crib death, okay? And so a couple of years ago, we actually, again, went after the FDA to put selenium into the formula because it was not in there. And, of course, selenium deficiency is the cause of sudden infant death syndrome or crib death. It's not getting tangled up in the blankets. It's not sleeping on their belly. Also, you've seen a downtick in the rhetoric and talk about cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy in the last couple of years since we put that selenium into the breast formula, or into the milk formula as a breastfeeding replacement. It's only because the deficiency of selenium causes cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy. And so we just want to make sure that we're going to get it. We also put folic acid in there to stop all kinds of birth defects, okay? And so we're glad to do that, and thank you for one more piece we need to work on. Thank you, Doug.
The Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach.
Thanks for listening to this week's show. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and for more info on the products mentioned in this week's show, check out the links in the description.